What is a Neapolitan and why is it in my ice cream? I need to understand what the definition is of this thing and why we even do it. But we'll start with making our own version, which has a brownie base, a cheesecake middle, and we've got a raspberry mousse on top, which isn't traditional, but you know what? Based on the history I learned about this thing, it's not even traditionally true to itself. But our butter and chocolate is fully melted, so we're gonna add our sugar and just give it a nice little mix until it dissolves a tiny bit. So we're looking good. We're gonna add our egg content now and just give that a nice mixy mix till it's fully combined. It's gonna start looking more like a brownie batter at this point. Now we're just gonna fold in our flour content and get it in the pans. Now I'm using 2 pans here. It's gonna give me a nice thin layer, but if you've got yourself like a half sheet pan, that would be perfect. Like a 9x13, I bet you is a perfect level. So it's been roughly 15 minutes and our brownies are looking good. So we'll get them out of the oven, cross them off the list, and move on to our next step, which is a raspberry coulis, and we're gonna use this for a couple things, so it's pretty important to start with it. We'll get our berries and our sugar content, some vanilla, and a little bit of liquid in the pot, and we'll just start bringing it to a boil. We're just gonna reduce this until it starts getting syrupy. It's like I make a coulis in almost every video, man. It's getting redundant at this point, but it's so common in the pastry world, so it's a technique we should get comfortable with. And I'm blending this while it's still hot. It's really important to do it while it's warm or hot. That way you get a nice smooth consistency out of the deal, especially with the raspberries. If they get cold, they're gonna clump so hard and you'll never be able to pass it through the sieve. Or you will, but it's gonna take a great deal of effort and you just could have skipped that if you did it while it was warm. But we're on to our chocolate sauce, and I've done this already, I think, in a different video. I'm pretty sure it was the Guinness cheesecake from St. Patrick's Day. It's a pretty good sauce recipe, so why wouldn't I use it again? It starts with some glucose, a little bit of sugar, and some water. And again, we're just reducing it till it gets a little tiny bit syrupy. Then we're gonna add our cocoa powder, mix it through, and then I've got 4 pieces of bittersweet chocolate that we're gonna finish this off with. So I did boil it again just to bring those cocoa powders and everything all together. And you notice when I throw those chocolate bits in, it got nice and thick, and that's exactly what we're looking for. So we'll cross it off on to the next step, which is just a bare basic cheesecake today. Sorry guys, it's the recipe right off the box. We're gonna start with our cream cheese and some granulated sugar, mix it till it comes fully together, and we'll add our eggs one at a time. I find one at a time, it just mixes easier. It also helps to have all your ingredients at room temperature. So you see we're adding our vanilla, our lemon, a little bit of heavy cream, and this is a slurry I made with a little bit more of our cream. That's just our cornstarch component. It's gonna guarantee our cake sets when it comes out of the oven. So we'll pour that cheesecake on top of the pre-baked brownie, and we're gonna add our sauces. This is why I made these first. It seems super important. We're gonna use the raspberry here to get a little bit of Neapolitan-like flavoring in our cake. Chocolate goes on next, and then we'll give it a little bit of a mix, which is not traditional to the Neapolitan. But from what I learned, Neapolitan doesn't even actually come from Naples. It started in Prussia, which was like a German and Polish colony at some point. I have no idea. You gotta do your own research. I'm not a geographer/historian. I am a baker of cakes, however, and that's what we've done here. We finished our cheesecake layer, and we're on to our raspberry mousse. So the last video I made was a strawberry passion fruit shortcake, and this is the same recipe. I'm just subbing in some raspberry coulis in place of the passion fruit reduction, and that's why I said this is such a versatile recipe. You should take it for sure. My shoulder's really hurting, so I don't really want to hand whip this, but I do have a fancy fun tool that is kind of like a hybrid. Oh shit, it doesn't fit. Oh goddamn, I'm gonna have to. Damn it. First of all, there's a cat hair in here. Okay, 1 sec, I'll figure this shit out. Fucking sucks. Oh shit, never mind, that hand. So we whipped this until it hit soft peaks. That's gonna be perfect for folding in our mousse. So now we're getting our gelatin into our raspberry coulis base here. Our gelatin's just gonna help us with stability in the long run. I'm gonna use it so I can pipe this on top of some of our cakes. And I'm also gonna pipe a little bit into a mold so that we can get just a 3-tier layer on one of our desserts. And that's gonna try and mock the look of the Neapolitan kind of ice cream packaging. So we folded the whipped cream into our raspberry base, and that's it. We just let it set. We'll cross this off the list, and we're on to our Tuile batter. These are really fun to make. They work great as a garnish, and it's gonna give us a crunchy component to our dessert. So we start with our egg whites, our sugar, salt, and a little vanilla, and we'll just give that a nice mix. We're gonna add some melted butter, and then we just add our cocoa and flour content. So I've mixed these two together, and we're gonna sift them into our batter here. It's gonna make it so we get no clumps of the cocoa, which tends to be a little bit clumpy. Then we'll just mix all of it at once until it comes fully together. You don't have to be too careful. We're not worried about developing any gluten or anything. It's a batter, so it's gonna be pretty loose. You see, I've got some templates here. I cut these out previously. I'm gonna use them to make different shapes to garnish around. I'm baking only a couple of these at a time because they set very quickly. So unless you're experienced with it, I find just baking a few at a time is probably your best bet. But if you keep the pan in the oven, you should be able to grab them as you need them. And and then you could work with like 6 or 7. But I'm at home and not in a hurry, so it's not that big a deal right now. We're just gonna do what we need. But they look good, so we'll cross them off the list, and we're on to our last step, which is a chocolate cherry stracciatella, which starts with a classic ice cream base. We've got our egg yolks there, we got a little bit of sugar, a cup of 35% and a cup of milk, and the rest of our sugar content in a pot. We're gonna bring this cream up to just a simmer. Honestly, it does not need to boil. We just need it to be warm enough to temper into our egg yolk. So we just reached simmer and we're going to temper. We just gotta pour this while mixing into our egg yolks, and we're gonna get that fully combined and mix that right back into the pot, because we do need to continue mixing this over the heat. So I like to cook this to at least 72 degrees Celsius. You can bring it up to about 81 before it's gonna split on you, but egg yolks should be cooked around 64, so 72 seems like a good middle ground to me. We'll pop this in the Cocao Punch 5000 and we're gonna spin it for about 20 minutes. Now while we're doing that, we're gonna chop up some cherries, and I've got some chocolate melted, because that's the chocolate cherry stracciatella concept. We're gonna get cherries in there. Then I just mix the chocolate in while it's drizzling, and that gives you the stracciatella effect, I suppose is what they call it. So our Amarena cherries are mixed, and here's the chocolate drizz, and there it is. You just mix it up, that's all. It's not that hard. I did do this a couple times, that way I got a nice layered base. I only showed you one because we don't have that much time on the internet here. Everybody's moving so quick, man. But we finally made it. We're onto our plating. We've got a round going down. I got chocolate sauce. You remember this from earlier? There's our cheesecake base. I've got a raspberry mousse set on top, and there's our tuile. I did make a quick raspberry compote by just smashing up some fresh raspberries into our coulis. It wasn't that hard, so I didn't bother showing it. It's not really worth it. We made a similar compote in the last video, so if you're into that concept, go check it out. I'm gonna put a little bit of this raspberry coulis right on the plate, so it's got some decorative aspect and flavor components. There's our chocolate cherry stracciatella, and again, from our last video, we had some chocolate garnish left over, so I just used some of those still. They look really nice. I thought it was giving some height, giving some different geometrical aspects. And that's that. That's a dessert. As far as I'm concerned, I still don't fully know what a Neapolitan is, but I think if we do enough research collectively, we can all figure it out, right? If you're still here, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. We'll make well, I don't know what we're doing yet. I think I might be prepping for a bachelorette party. We'll see. We'll see what's going on in our future here. Anyways, take care. Thanks again. If you're ever feeling down about yourself, like you haven't accomplished anything, this little guy is growing from the drain. And so can you. Keep that in mind.